Okay, welcome to Daily 3D Revolve. Today I'm going to be doing a different tutorial. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on Moai 4.0. I've been doing a lot of Design Spark Mechanical tutorials lately, so I thought I might mix it up a little bit. So we'll go ahead and open up Moai. I have a trial version of 4.0. And you'll notice that when you open it up, you get 4 viewports, kind of like Rhino 7. You could either draw in the split mode, or you could change them down here. You could draw in the 3D mode, which is one view, top mode, one view, front view is one view, and right. So I'll start off with the split, and then what I'm going to do is go ahead and draw something. I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to use the array tool. So we're going to go ahead and click here to draw a circle, and you notice when I start to size this over in the right hand window there where it says pick radius, you notice that it's increasing. So if I want a specific radius, I'll just go over here and then highlight this. So we could say 8, and then I'll go ahead and get the circle tool here. We'll go in the middle here and then come over to here, and we could do say 7. Or actually undo that. That was a little thin, so we'll go back over here. Maybe we'll do this 5. So we'll come over here, highlight that, and just type 5. Okay, now we have this piece here. Now we're going to go ahead and let's see here. We're going to go ahead and draw a line, and then I'm going to put a line right here in the center. We'll just drag that over to there. Now I want to go ahead and okay, we're going to use offset for this. This is kind of a similar feature to Design Spark Mechanical, only I think it's more powerful in this program. Okay, we're going to go ahead and select offset, and then right here it's asking you, when you do this, you're moving it there. It's telling you over here how far you want it to go, but I'm just going to manually do this. So we're going to click the box for both sides, so it will do 2. So we're going to go ahead and create an offset like this. Okay, now we're going to come over here and deselect everything. We're going to select that line there. We don't need it, and hit delete. Now we're going to grab the line tool again. We're going to come do from endpoint to endpoint. Now we need to what we can do is trim this now, and then we can do an array, or we can trim it later. I would actually prefer to trim this now. So we're going to go ahead and do a select all, and then we're going to come over here to trim. I'm going to hit trim, and then we're going to go delete cutting objects, and then we'll say done. And now you're going to get this. So what we need to do at that point is just select what we don't want, what we want to take away, and then go ahead and say done. Okay, so now we have this shape here. So now what I want to do is I want to do an array. So we'll go to the transfer tab, and we're going to come down here to array, and then we're going to pick the circular array. So it's asking here to select objects to array. So we're going to go select these 3. Then we're going to go ahead and say check done. Then it's asking to pick a center point. So we're going to go ahead and pick that point there. And now you notice that it arrayed 8 of them, but I don't want 8. We're just going to do maybe like, let's try 5. Okay. So this is going to be our array pattern. Let's do 6 so it's even. So we'll go ahead and type in 6 there and hit OK. Okay, now we have 6. So now we can go ahead and say done. So now I want to do a select all on this again. And then we're going to come down here to trim, hit trim, and then we're going to go ahead and, now that we have everything checked, we're going to hit done. And now we just go ahead and come in here, select these, because these are the only things we want to delete. Alright, now we want to go ahead and just say done. Okay, now you have your shape here. So now what I normally do, once I get the part that I want, I'll go ahead and come down here to the 3D view. So I have a little bit more space. So now we're going to use extrude. So now we come over to the construct tab. We go to extrude. Now I'm going to do a control A to get everything. Now we do done. Now we can just extrude this up. And the same thing applies here. Over here is where you would put in your exact extrusion. So maybe we want 4. So now we'll just go ahead and click OK there. Now we'll click the select off of everything. Now I want to put a fillet on this. So normally to do that, I don't want to do one line at a time. I want to do everything. So I'll do a Control A. Come down here to fillet. And then I'll come up here and I want maybe a 0.5 millimeter fillet. So just go ahead and click there. I just click there, type in 0.5 and then hit OK. And then we'll go ahead and look at the fillets, make sure that it's what we want, and then we'll go ahead and say done. And then we can click there to select off. So now we have our, and we can rotate to here. I'm working on a laptop, but on a mouse you just right mouse click and spin, and now we have our part. It's a pretty powerful program. I think it does things pretty fast. And then once you're done with the part, once you have this part and you know this is the part that you want, you can go ahead and come up here to save. And then you could save it as STL, and you could just call this test part. So now you have your MOI part. I could go save it out to the desktop. And then here's the options you have. If you slide this slider to the left, you're getting fewer polygons. So you notice that it looks kind of boxy. Now if you go to the right, you're getting more polygons. So this is going to be a lot of polygons. It's going to make this part print very smooth. So you want to kind of have a fine line. You don't. The more polygons something has, the longer that's going to take to probably print. So you want a kind of a midway, something that looks good but doesn't have too many polygons, because if it's a complicated model and you crank it all the way up to here, it's going to have a lot of polygons, and it's going to take longer to print. So we'll go ahead and say OK to that. That looks pretty good. And then what we could do now, since we have our STL part, I normally take this stuff into Rhino. And just give it a second. Alright, we'll go ahead and say OK there, and then we'll go run without saving. And then we'll double click on perspective. Normally I'll select all. Over here in Rhino is the material tab. We'll go ahead and add like a orange color since it's Halloween's coming up. Make this kind of a Halloween-y looking part. And I'll go to something like a plastic. And then all we have to do is come down here and change the color to an orange color. Then we'll say OK, and then we'll right mouse click on here and go assign to object. And then we'll come up here to view, and we'll come down to ray trace. And then what we want to do now is go over here to the rendering, and we want to come over here to the solid color, click that window there, and then we want to give it a dark gray background, click OK. And now let's just let the ray trace go for a little bit. Maybe we can rotate this like this. Now let the now it'll start over. If you do anything in Rhino, typically the ray trace will start over. So you have to not do anything and just get it to the point where you like the photo, you think it looks good. And then what I normally do is a screen capture. So to do that on your keyboard, you normally have next to the Alt key, you have a Windows symbol, 4 little windows. So you want to hold that down along with the Shift and along with S as in Sam. So those 3 keys you hold down. And click off of that. Windows, Shift, S. And you get this little window. Now you take what they call a little snippet. You'll get this window. And now you want to open up your Paint program. So you could come up here and type in Paint. It's already here, so we'll just click there. We'll click here, do a Control V as in Victor, and then we'll crop, make sure the crop is there, and then we'll just save it as JPEG. And then we could just say test part, and then we'll click Save. Now this will be our MOI part, and then I'll go ahead and end the tutorial there. We'll just go ahead and say no to that. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed watching. You got some useful tips out of that video. Moai is a good program. You could try it out for a trial version, and then if you like it, I think it's lower than most of the other programs as far as price, but I think I like it equally as much as Rhino. Rhino is kind of a way more powerful in terms of doing a lot of stuff, but Moai is like has just what you need. If you've ever done anything in Rhino 7.0, you'll find out quickly that there's this drop-down menus everywhere. It's kind of like it's a lot like Blender, but it's a little different. But it's like Blender, and Moai seems to be more simplistic, and everything is right where you need it to be. So it's really easy to do stuff like this. Create most of your parts, and then it has a good save as options. There's quite a few. You have all the basics. You have a step, you have STL, you have SketchUp, you have Illustrator, PDF, DXF, STL. So you have all the files that you would normally need to export. Good little program. Okay, that'll end the tutorial, and as always, thanks for watching.